Right, here we go. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to... Oh, I just lost it. Welcome to Freshly Grounded, episode 138. This episode is with Tim Randle. The third episode with Tim Randle, actually. He's the third set that he's seen as well, Freshly Grounded. Alhamdulillah. Very, very cool episode. So Tim was coming down today anyway to do a few other bits. And then I just texted him, I think last night, and I was like, do you want to just shoot an episode while you're down here? And he was like, yeah, cool. So it was a bit impromptu, but just a nice little catch up, a nice little chinwag that we managed to get on camera. We spoke about Tim's Hajj experience, how he broke his toe at Hajj. We speak a bit about his favourite foods, his studying of the Gujarati language and Arabic, but mainly character and kind of him trying to portray good character and him representing Islam at his work, where he's around loads of non-Muslims, and so him trying to make sure that he portrays Islam in the best light possible through his character. So a very, very cool episode, and I will leave you guys at that. Other than if you're a fan of this kind of thing and you enjoy Freshly Grounded and you enjoy our episodes, we would absolutely love for you to become a patron. Become a patron on Patreon. And that basically means that you're like a premium subscriber. You get every episode early. You get every episode ad-free. And a bunch of other perks that we're working on. But mainly you're able to support the podcast. It really does go a long way. It starts at around £5 a month. And like I said, it's very, very easy. You go to patreon.com/freshly grounded. It makes a massive difference to us. We're able to use that to work towards improving our quality, improving our consistency, helping towards guest expenses, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you're a fan of Freshly Grounded, your support would go a very, very long way, and we will try our very best to give as much in return to our patrons as possible. Jazakallahu khair, guys, and I will see you in about 45 seconds time after this intro. All right. And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
After that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
Welcome, Tim.
Welcome again.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
My dear friend Tim.
How are you?
Oh, I'm going to ruin the frame by lifting my thing up a bit. It's all right.
Should be okay.
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah. Nice to be back.
Nice to have you back. You're here for the
in
third
your
time.
new place, mashallah.
This is the third time you're here, and it's the third set that you've come to.
Every time it's been different.
Inshallah, this one's to stay.
Inshallah.
How you doing, bro?
Good, man.
Yeah?
I'm really good.
You're looking well? Your hair's grown?
Do I not look tired?
No, you don't look tired.
I don't. You sure?
How many hours did you sleep last night?
5, 6.
That's not a lot, is it?
Yeah, it's not.
No, you know, some people are like, oh, I can survive a 5 hour sleep, 6 hours sleep. I may have even said that in the past. But really and truly, you do need about 7 or 8
Yeah, you need
to really
seven. You feel good. That 2 hours makes a massive difference. Massive. Huge.
So did you just stay up from Fajr? Oh, no, you slept at Fajr.
Yeah. Slept because I'm working late night, so I got home about 8 o'clock last night.
Man.
No, this morning, sorry. 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, because when I texted you this morning at 5:30 a.m.
I was messaging you, innit?
I woke up, but you must have just been finishing
I was on my train.
work.
I was on my train.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mad. And
Yeah.
I woke up, bro.
I was like half asleep on the train.
That's
It's
amazing.
yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So
12 hours graph, man.
the long hair is also due to the fact that you haven't shaved the top of your head since Hajj.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
went to Hajj this year.
Alhamdulillah, I went Hajj. Yeah, I went Hajj. Can I say the company's name? Can I plug them?
Of course. This is a podcast.
Ibadah Tours.
Okay.
I went with Ibadah Tours, alhamdulillah. Sheikh Wasim, Ustad Asmi Khan. And actually a few brothers that I knew as well, Abu Bakr Islam.
Oh, yeah.
So hilarious, man. I met John Fontaine.
Okay.
A lot of people. So when I went, it was really good. Like, alhamdulillah, the experience. And yeah, so since then I've not cut my hair. Like, I remember I went to a wedding and Sheikh Wasim was there. And I turned out, people have never seen me with long hair before. I've always had it short. Like, you saw me as well, like, I've always had it short. And they were shocked, like, what is this? I'm like, I've not shaved it since Hajj.
I think it looks good long, man.
It's all right.
Allahumma barik. It looks good.
Alhamdulillah.
You've got a thick set of hair.
Yes.
Which is good.
It's a bit
Mine's very
strange.
thin.
Mine's weird. I don't need to do anything to it. I just shower. That's it.
I'm using this. I've been using this German shampoo, which is meant to be good because for people like myself who have really thin hair, because it doesn't have that element of shampoo which makes your hair like, you know, when you shampoo your hair and it goes silky, like it goes really thin, and this shampoo doesn't have that. But there's nothing you can do to fix a receding hairline.
I remember when on Hajj, and after you get out Ihram, it's the best shower you've ever had. Is the best shower. You've just spent so many days sweating, wearing Ihram, etc., etc. And I didn't have any shower gel. Oh my gosh, I was like, I forgot my shower gel. Yeah, and this brother went, yeah, use this one. Yeah, big up Nivea. Yeah, they've got a 5-in-1 shower gel.
5-in-1.
5-in-1. So I used that.
I heard of 2-in-1. What's a 5-in-1?
It's like you can use it for your hair, for your body, for your face, everywhere. Like, it's so good. It is like the best.
Oh, and I assume that because Nivea is also a moisturizer at the same time.
That's it, yeah. And it was like, and when he gave me that, I was like, this is like unbelievable. I was like, I felt so clean after it. Like,
that's what you need for Hajj.
Yeah.
If you're going on a mad travel, you just need one 5-in-1 bottle.
SubhanAllah. The most amazing thing, I think, like, this is amazing, yeah. This one brother, before I went on Hajj, he gifted me some money. And this was like a random thing, like, usually brothers don't like just give you money before you go on Hajj. Like, usually, well, enjoy your Hajj, may Allah accept it, etc. But this brother gave me money. Yeah, and I was thinking, how can I use this money to benefit him as well? Yeah, because you can take the money and use it and buy some clothes for your family, etc., etc. I was thinking, maybe I can maximize this and use this for something good. So I bought my flip-flops that I'm going to wear when I do my walking and stuff like that. And I bought some Skechers. We're doing a lot of plugging here, man. I bought some Skechers. Yeah,
mentioned about 4 pounds already.
I went to Skechers outlet, and I bought some flip-flops, like they're this thick, and they were like so good. Like, and I used it throughout my Hajj. There's another thing I got to tell you about what happened. Yeah, but so I bought it, and I actually used these flip-flops all the way throughout my Hajj.
Wow.
All my walking, I did in it, etc., etc. So may I accept it from the brother, you know.
I mean, so he would have got a lot of reward, man, inshallah. You know, for the sketches that you bought, that you walk in. Now,
that in that itself, like, if anyone knows anyone going on Hajj, like in the coming Hajj, get something for them or give them money, and say to them, can you use it for something, you know, that you're going to use in your ibadah or you're going to use like frequently, so I can attain, rather than just saying maybe use it to buy yourself something nice. See if you can try and reap reward from that, inshallah.
Wow. Now, those sketches, do you wear them?
I've still got them now.
Outside of Hajj?
I've still got them now. But you know what happened? I'm not going to bait out who did it and what happened. But on my way to doing the Jamarat, my second one, I broke my toe on Hajj, and I was so distraught. I was like, oh my gosh, like I was about to do, like, I think it was the second one. And I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to finish my Hajj? I've got to do my tawaf, I've got to do all this, And I literally broke my toe. Till this day, I've still got the mark from it. And I came back, as soon as I came back from Hajj, I went to the hospital. And I said, like I didn't want to, it might sound bad, I didn't want to pay for it. Like, whilst I was out there, I thought I may as well come back home, look at it, get it examined, etc., etc. And I came back, and it was fractured in 2 places. And imagine that's a few weeks after as well, like after it's healed up a bit more, etc. Like, I don't know what happened to it. But I was walking up towards the Jamarat, and because I was wearing flip-flops, a lot of people, they wear shoes. Yeah. A lot of people, they're wearing shoes on their way to the Jamarat. And someone had hard shoes on, but they had these leather ones on it. So the back of it was like a rock. Yeah. And I was actually walking towards the Jamarat, and I caught the back of this person's foot with my flip-flop. Like, I had flip-flops on, but these flip-flops were so good, you could wear them as shoes. So you could wear them like anywhere, yeah. Okay,
so we had a bit of a technical issue because we have so many cameras running, and we haven't. We've got an entire system behind us, but we haven't set it up. So we're doing it all manually for inshallah the last time. I've hopefully fixed it back up now. So let's carry on. So you were doing the Jamarat, and then something happened behind the cover.
So I was going towards the Jamarat. I haven't done my Jamarat yet. Fine. And I was wearing these Skechers flip-flops that I was bigging up, yeah. And they're so good that you can use them as shoes. You can wear them anywhere. You can do so much walking in them. It won't give you blisters. It won't do any of these things. It actually gave me blisters at one point, but that's probably because I wore them too much. But I was wearing them towards the Jamarat, and usually a lot of people, they wear shoes because, you know, you're going to do a lot of walking. The last thing you want is to wear some flip-flops that will give you blisters, and then it's going to make it 10 times harder for yourself. And I caught someone on the back of their shoe, right, with my foot, my bare foot, no shoes, flip flops, and they had like this hard leather back on the back of their shoe, and I caught my inner toe, my small one, on the inside of it, and I caught it from the back of their shoe, so it completely like bent my toe. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it basically broke my toe in 2 places. Yeah?
So how did you finish your Hajj with a broken toe?
That's what I was going to carry on saying. Now, these sandals, these flip-flops, for some reason, they were so well fit that even though I broke my toe, I could walk in it. I could walk, and I tried putting my shoes on. I tried putting different flip-flops on. I tried putting sliders on. Nothing was working, but these flip-flops would. So I kept it on throughout the whole thing. Yeah, that's what I'm serious. It's not a joke. And I sat down. I said, "Ya Rab, how am I going to do my Hajj? How am I going to complete it?" I said, "This is my opportunity to do my Hajj. How can I do it with my broken toe? Like it was hurting bad." And one brother, he went, "Bro, give me your stones. I'll go and do your Jamarat for you. You got an excuse. You've hurt yourself, etc., etc., etc." I was like, "Yeah," and I gave him my stones. I was so disheartened. At this point, I literally felt like just breaking down. Yeah, it was so hard for me, and I got up. One of the Saudi security, they came up to me with some paracetamol. May Allah bless them. They were doing an amazing job, by the way, with all the people, spraying water on people, helping them, directions, everything. So they gave me this paracetamol, and for some reason, I know it might sound strange, but this actually helped me so much. Like, I don't know if it's like a mental thing or whatever.
Barakah, bro.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I had it, and I got up and I said, "You know what? I'm going to try and I'm going to go for it. These flip-flops don't feel too bad." When I took my flip-flop off, it felt worse. So I got they gave me a bit of tape, and I wrapped it around my toe with my other toe together. I strapped it together, and then I said, "I'm going to do it." And I went and I was struggling, but I did it. I did my Jamarat, then I went back to Mina, and then completed that day. SubhanAllah, it was amazing. Like I was so distraught. But you know, when you have good thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anything can happen.
How do you feel now that do you feel like you would have regretted not trying to do the Jamarat yourself? Now that you managed to do it, you know.
I felt bad that I kind of gave up on myself. I was like, "Oh yeah, you can do it for me." But then it's that little edge that you have that, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought me here for a reason. I'm going to try my best. And people of the past, they didn't have the pleasures that we have. Getting the bus from Mina from Arafat to Muzdalifah, and Muzdalifah going back to Mina, buses and stuff like that. They didn't have that. So imagine all these good things that we have. You know, at least I should try my hardest and just push myself a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
So,
and someone said something amazing. Yeah, when I was on Hajj, is we was walking past. We were going to, I think, towards Mina. We were walking to Mina, and there was a rubbish guy who was collecting rubbish off people, and in between, like, they stand there and they stand literally there all day. People throw rubbish into their bags and etc., and they finish their day. And one of the ustads that was with us, he said, "SubhanAllah, Allah could have chosen us to be those people who are standing there collecting rubbish, but He chose you to be of those who are completing your Hajj this year." And when I looked at it like that, and I saw that, you know, I could have easily have been someone at home, not being able to come and not benefited from Hajj, yeah, and I could have sat there and not reaped the reward. But, you know, Allah has chosen me to come, so it's a responsibility upon me to try and give it, you know, its duty and its due.
Did you know before last year?
Yeah.
So before you did Hajj, had you planned to do that?
Nothing.
Hajj?
Oh my gosh. So Hajj.
I imagine that would be the case. That's why I asked.
I found out that I was going on Hajj 2 weeks before I was going.
Subhanallah.
2 weeks. So basically, the brother called me up. He said, well, there was a brother at work, my old workplace, and he was like, "Bro, there's this opportunity. This guy I know, they're helping reverts on going on Hajj, and there's a spot left. Would you want to go?" And obviously, I'm like, you start thinking about all these different things. Oh my God, what about this? 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 But then the moment you go home and you say to yourself, "You know what? It's a Hajj, and I might not ever get this opportunity ever again." Yeah, so I'm going to try my hardest to go. So I made my application for it. I sent it to the brother, and subhanAllah, they actually said to me, "You know, we found someone else," etc., etc., etc. I was like, "Oh, subhanAllah," you know. I felt so like I felt really down. Like I wasn't, you know, I felt like I was there, but then once I was, I felt that was it. But then they called me up about a day or two later, and they said, "Bro, this person he's not able to do it. Da, 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 da. Give me more information about yourself. And then someone gave a reference for me as well, so they knew that they could trust me and stuff like that. And then they booked the tickets.
Bro, you know what?
Oh, God. You know what? I remember speaking to you about this. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's fine.
I remember we were walking. Remember when we first did the first podcast? We walked towards that. We went to get food at that market after Jummah.
Yeah.
And I said to you, you was talking to me about Hajj, and you were saying to me, bro, just make that intention. Next year you're going to go. Yeah. Allah, I'm not saying this is a miracle. I'm not saying this is something crazy that's happened, but genuinely, if you make an intention to go on Hajj the following year and you keep it in your heart and you keep not forcing to yourself to believe it, but say to yourself, I'm going on Hajj, and you genuinely make that intention, and maybe you put a deposit down for that Hajj and you pay it off slowly before you go, or you find a way to do it. There's always a way and there's always a will to do it. 100%.
I agree. And I was going to say that how amazing is it that when you rely upon Allah, even when you don't see an avenue, sometimes you get what you wanted due to the amount of yaqeen, or how would you say yaqeen in English? Like the amount of certainty that you have that Allah is definitely gonna like fulfill this for me. And when you rely upon Allah that much and you show Him that He's the only one that you have to rely on.
Yes.
It's amazing how when you wholeheartedly believe, even though all logic tells you not to believe in something, like there's no, I'm not just talking about Hajj. I'm talking, there's been countless times in my life where I've gone, this thing has to happen, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to put in my effort, and I just wholeheartedly believe that Allah will do this because of what my intentions are for it, and it happens. But it's because you rely on Allah and you're showing Him that, 100%. Or Allahu A'lam, but I'm saying the point is that there has to be a connection with the fact that you're so reliant upon only Him. Because if you're going to rely on anyone, you might as well rely on the one who's in control of all things. You know, did we discuss this in the last podcast? I think we did.
I think we touched upon it, but before I was Muslim, and I don't want to say this like all non-Muslims, you're wrong, what you believe in is wrong. I'm not saying that, but before I was Muslim, there was a kind of empty feeling that that is filled when you become a Muslim. Is that you feel like yourself when you're a Muslim. You feel like yourself when you're truly practicing. You're not being involved in things that you shouldn't be involved in, and like you said, you put your trust in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. There's this fulfillment in your heart and in the way you feel, that you feel relaxed and content with whatever happens. Yeah,
you feel like you're not lying to yourself anymore.
Now, before I was Muslim, there's a lot of things that happened to me. I'm not going to go into it. That I thought, how is this possible? Why is it happening to me? Why are these things? Why am I going through these things? And you start to wonder, and what is the purpose of his life if I'm just going to be afflicted by these things? But when you have the certainty of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, you know that Allah's qadr is, it's not comparable to us, and we're not able to think of how amazing it is because of its amazement. And me myself, before I was Muslim, I couldn't even get myself around these issues because of that. But the moment when I accepted Islam and I start to learn about Allah's qadr and all these things and free will and these kind of stuff, and you start to understand Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, it makes things so much easier for you, so much. And when I was going through these, I'm not saying I'm a pious person. I have taqwa of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and I fear Allah, and I have good thoughts about Him all the time. All these things, yeah. But when you do, and you go through these hardships, and you have good thoughts about Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, all these things will become so much easier for you. Like that's I think the difference. Yeah, I think that's the difference between having a positive outlook on life and a negative outlook on life is how you look at Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. 100%.
Yeah, I think that we discussed this on the last episode, but you can never discuss it enough.
Yeah.
The concept of having good thoughts of Allah, we did discuss it on the last episode. We discussed it in depth, but
yeah, that when you go on Hajj, that's the main. I would say, firstly, patience, and understanding that things are going to happen when you go on Hajj. I've spoke to so many people that when they've gone on Hajj, it's every time is a different experience. I know a brother that's gone. He's gone like 15 times. Yeah. He said to me, brother, every time I've come here, it's been different. There's been issues that have occurred. There's been things that have gone wrong. There's been like when I went, we were like the last bus for some reason because you get allocated a bus when you go to Mina and Arafat and stuff like that. And we were like the last bus, and every time, like we were getting so impatient, and it's so hard to keep. But if you just keep steadfast and you keep reminding yourself why you're there, honestly, it's unbelievable. And I've been at Umrah once, yeah, and I did my Umrah before Hajj, and I felt, this is Umrah, I can do it, etc. But the hardships of Hajj is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You can just go like that. Your Hajj can go just like that if you go on the wrong way, or you do something that you shouldn't have done. It's a big responsibility, man.
I know a person who went, who's been like almost 25 years in a row. It's amazing how when Allah wants, and this person's not a wealthy person, but it's amazing when Allah wants to open a door for you.
Yeah,
nothing can stop you.
That's it.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's the beauty of the fact that there's a higher power. That is Allah. Is that logic and not logic, plans. You can't plan for what Allah's got planned. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what Allah has planned for you, which is what we're talking about, qadar. And it's so beautiful when you watch it unfold in front of you, and you think, I should have just relied on Him all along. It's so amazing, man.
100%, man. 100%. I think like you can only like. Me personally, like when I first moved to London, I joined a few courses and whatnot, and Muslim Jadid and all that kind of stuff, new Muslim, learning so much about Islam and all that stuff, soaking it all in. And one thing I found kind of, the most important thing for myself to learn, and the most beneficial thing that I've learned is about Allah's qadr, and understanding your Lord and His and how things plan out in your life, and how it's all predestined, and all these things I never knew of before I came to London. I had a very basic understanding of Islam before I came to London, right? And when you start learning about these things, I'm not saying I know a lot, because I don't, yeah. When you start learning about these things and you see the beauty of it, it's very easy to move on with your life if things go wrong. And I think that's really important. Like, if I kept that mentality that, I didn't have good thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I just went on with my Hajj, I broke my toe, I'm gonna go and sit down now and sulk in a corner, or am I gonna genuinely fulfill this for Allah's sake and do it for His sake? Maybe I incur a little bit of pain or whatever, but I have good thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reward might even be greater than if you didn't have that problem with your toe, or that problem with your health, or that problem with your coughing, or that problem with your nose. Like when you get to Hajj, you get ill, man, easily. And it's all these things build up for that time to really test you and see if you're a person of Iman. When you go into a workplace that's not full of Muslims, and you're the only Muslim in that room, and things come to you, does your Iman, like your Iman truly shows in these situations, and it truly shows you how strong of a Muslim you are, in that maybe you're approached with something that might contradict your religion, but are you going to say to yourself, there's no Muslims around, I'm going to do this one first time, I'll say to myself, I'll never do it again. But then you find yourself doing it again, and then it doesn't stop, and then you find yourself in the routine of doing it. And that's the trick of shaitan. Now, it's so easy to fall into that relationship with shaitan, and to fall into sin, and to do these things if you're not surrounded by Muslims. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with good people, and people who really benefit your character. Because when if you're around people who don't have that consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it wears off on you. Things start to come your way, and your iman's tested, and if you don't have that strong iman, and you don't have that strong belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's going to affect you. And I there's so many experiences in my life where I've been tested, and I'm sure so many people who are listening to this and watching it have gone through that moment of, there's no Muslims around me. Do I stop what I'm doing and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I don't get myself involved in this, and then I never have to worry about it again because I've prevented it from before it happens? Or am I going to get myself in that routine of it happening, and then find it hard for myself to get out? Because me as a revert, there's so many things that I brought into, that was already still in my life when I became a Muslim, that was hard to get rid of. Very, very hard. I got rid of it, alhamdulillah. I got rid of those things that I wanted to get rid of. But it's because I was already in that routine, because I was already that person, and I was already involved in that stuff that I was involved in, it came along with me. but it's very hard to get out. So finding those steps in how to prevent yourself from falling into these situations where you're stuck with that same sin, that same thing that goes on in your life, it's the most important thing to do, because you want to prevent yourself from falling into it constantly. And I've worked, like I'm currently working with non-Muslims at the minute, and the working environment, like, the people are really nice characters, but there's some things that will come across that it doesn't compensate your religion. But if you have iman and you have taqwa and you involve yourself, like we were speaking about earlier, having, if you're involved in something maybe that isn't surrounded by Muslims, class, do it. But always remember to keep yourself with people outside of work maybe that are strong Muslims, and that will keep you on the right path, so that maybe when you're around the non-Muslims, you can show Islam to what it truly is, and to really show them good character, show them how strong a Muslim is when they're if you're confronted with something, sorry, I can't do that because of religious reasons, they'll be like, okay, why are you not doing it because of they'll be intrigued.
Have you had those conversations?
Yeah, 100%. Everyone gets that. So why are you a Muslim?
Oh, of course.
I'm saying, like, people were shocked when I told them I was Muslim.
At work?
Yeah.
Really?
Because at the start I didn't really tell them I was Muslim.
Yeah.
And then I was asked about things like, are you coming for a drink and this kind of stuff. I was like, no, I don't really want to, etc., etc. And then it came to a conversation where I told them that I'm Muslim.
Did they see you doing salah though?
They don't see me, no, because I've got a little room that I go to.
Okay.
So I go there. But the amazing thing is that this actually intrigues them. You might have thought, oh no, what they're going to think bad about me because maybe I don't want to do this, I don't want to go drinking, or I don't want to do these things. They're actually intrigued by it.
What did they say?
They were like, oh, why did you become Muslim? And I told them my story, and they're like, oh, okay. And they still respect me.
Yeah, of course,
do you get my point?
Man, yeah.
So I could have got myself in that situation that I didn't want to be in for no reason. They would have liked me whether I was like this or like this anyways. So for those who are listening, who are maybe, about to go into a place maybe where they might feel uncomfortable, don't feel uncomfortable. Feel strong as a Muslim, and believe that, there's something actually amazing might come from this.
Yeah, and I think
do you get my point?
I do, bro. I think that your energy speaks a lot about you. So if you speak as if you're confident and proud of something, then that emanates from you, and then people react positively to it. But if you speak about something in a very shy manner or a scared manner, people react how the reaction to someone shy should be. So if, for example, you're having a conversation with someone and you're very unconfidently and in shyness saying, I'm a... Let's say, for example,
what you say, bro.
Let's say, for example, you like something that's embarrassing. Yeah. Like, for example, your hobby is what's seen as maybe a weird, embarrassing hobby, like puzzles, for example. Yeah. Like, you might be obsessed with puzzles, bruv. Like, it might be your thing that just like you zone out when you're doing puzzles, bruv. You just don't think about anything that's going on in the dunya. You're just into it. Yeah. But you might be embarrassed. And if you say, like, because I've had experience.
Do you remember the picture puzzles you used to get like a...
Yeah. Imagine someone's like, what do you do as a hobby? And you're like, I like puzzles. They'll be like, raw, bruv, you like puzzles. But imagine if you're like, I love puzzles. And they're like, what? And then you're like, yeah, sick. Like, I love puzzles. Yeah. Like, how can you not? It's so fun. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Then they'll be like, oh, like, almost like, you're so confident with it. They'll respect it. I found that, bro. Now, I haven't spoken specifically about puzzles to people. However, I have found that even myself, bro, when someone maybe has said something to me like that they enjoy or something, and then I've been a bit surprised negatively, and then they come back with the confidence, you almost respect the fact that they're so confident and so proud of it, and you're like, well, I never saw something like that from that angle. I used to work in retail when I would meet people of all walks of life, bro. And the company that I work for specifically, they would specifically hire people from different walks of life, so different people can relate to different customers. And so, bro, I would meet people like my co-workers, and I got along with all my co-workers, and I would have co-workers that were like on the side, they was doing like, I can't even think now, bro, to be honest, but people had some like very strange, what was strange to me, kind of like hobbies on the side and stuff.
Without hurting anyone out.
Or like they would just cut, or they would do weird things, like they would like, people would like come to work on a unicycle, just weird stuff like that. And at first you'd be like, at first you'd be like, bro, you come to work on a unicycle, like, is that not weird? And like, nah, I love it, like, as well. And when they come to you with that energy, you're like, oh, wow, I rate that.
Yeah. There was one brother, like, he actually cycled to work.
Okay.
And he was such a super fit guy, like super fit. And most people, you know, we get the tube, or we walk, or we get on the train, or we get the car, or whatever. But this guy actually cycles, and it, not only that, but it makes him fit at the same time, you know. So usually you'd think, okay, why are you not in the car? But then you see that this person's benefiting from using the bike and being fit from it and keeping himself involved in it, and he actually loves it.
Yeah, and I think that judging people, if you're a good person generally, which I think most people are, I think judging people stops as you mature and you get older, and you start respecting people a lot more for their differences. And I think I mentioned before that it's funny how in like high school, for example, in your early years of high school, everyone, like, if you're different, you're bullied, or if you're different, you're like seen as an outcast. And how interesting is it that as soon as you kind of hit like the older age, like when you go to university, if you're different, you're celebrated. You're like, oh man, does this. Like, I remember in high school, it was very much so like that. Like in your teen years, you want to do everything that's cool. Like you don't want to ever do anything that's not cool. Like to the point, bro, where if you're in high school and
if you're not buying expensive clothes,
right,
you're not seen as the one that's
or the correct trainers or anything like that.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
And then when you go to, and then when we went to uni, I remember like there was a guy in my halls that was like obsessed with like computer science and just coding, and he would like just be by himself, and he was really into like computer stuff and watching series that were like maybe in high school not deemed as cool, because he was so into it and he wasn't shy of it. He was actually celebrated, like, oh yeah, he's into that, sick. So my point is that as you mature and get older, you're actually celebrated for your uniqueness and your differences, don't you, as an adult as well? Like oh, that guy does that guy does that.
That's why it's super important, like if you are going to a non-Muslim environment, not to put yourself down. Don't put yourself down. Like be shy of your Islam. Why? Because if they see your Islam through your actions before they see it through the way you speak of it, they're going to appreciate it a lot more. Yeah. And the reason why I say this, you know, the Prophet ﷺ, as we know, he was mentioned that he was like a walking Quran in the way he was. And we as Muslims, we should take that upon ourselves, not in that we're going to be exact replica, but inspire ourselves and to know that we should be the mirror, how you'd say, of Islam. So when people see us, they see the true Islam. They don't see someone that's like, oh, do you know about Islam? Do you know that you should believe in this? If you say that and you go off on that kind of thing, they're going to be like, wow, who's this guy? Why is he coming to me and telling me that I'm wrong? Yeah. Show them through your characteristics. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is I've been in a lot of non-Muslim. I remember I used to work in a multi-activity center when I first became Muslim. I was about 18 years old. And I had to pray outside in my breaks, very short breaks. I had about 15 minutes break. Oh my gosh, that's the time. I'm gonna have to jump in and pray my salah. I got my bottle of water, made my wudu outside, freezing cold, prayed my salah, and then my manager saw me. So, what are you doing? I said, I'm a Muslim, and I'm a revert. I became Muslim about a year ago, etc., etc. And then he was like, oh wow, because they've not seen that. Yeah. And you know, I'm not saying I'm super religious, but I was just, this is an example to show you that he saw my actions before my words, and that, you know, that kind of intrigued him a bit. He was like, okay. And I keep relations with him, my old manager, and I speak to him and stuff like that. So it's nice. Do you think that people get less surprised now, though, as like time goes on with someone like yourself being a Muslim? Because like we have Sam on here. Obviously, Sam's a co-host for Shugandid, and Sam is born and bred British, white guy, like tattooed up. But maybe because I see him all the time, I'm so used to it. You would not even. I wouldn't even question, like, think twice that the guy's a Muslim. Yeah. Just like yourself. Yeah. But obviously, he gets. You know, I still to this day, when you walk into a masjid with Sam, he does get looks. But do you think that that's lessened over the years? Because it's now 100%. I think people don't assign Islam to a colour or nationality as much as perhaps they used to. I think it's the same in how masjids have changed. In that not only the people are changing, but the masjids have changed as well. Because I know, like, a lot of people from different cultures, when they were younger, they used to get beats and they used to go to the masjid and they never used to like it, and it put them off their Islam later on in their life. But now children are going to the masjid, and what they're providing is unbelievably good. Especially in London. Like, I don't know, so many madrasas, and I've helped one of them. And what they're teaching and how they're doing it and the akhlaq when they're doing it is unbelievable.
Yeah, and the children are enjoying
And
it.
children, they're not going there and getting beats. Like, not saying all of them were like that, but there were some that were. And children aren't going through that problem as no way as much as I used to, because it get clamped down on straight away. And in that, it's the same as how people are changing in their mentality, and how there's so many reverts. There's so many, even how Malcolm X's trip when he went to Mecca, he saw all these different people, and it changed him. So now people are now seeing that they're coming from this country and their generations are changing. They have children in this country. Their children will experience different cultures. They'll understand it. And it is changing. It is changing. Like me, myself, like you said, when I first became Muslim, I went into a few masjids that were solely specific to one culture. And I did used to get looks. But after a while, they didn't care. They just thought, okay, yeah, it's the same guy. Blah, blah, blah.
Do you get that now?
Not as much. I get it on the tube when I'm on the tube and stuff like that, because my beard gives it away a little bit, because my beard is not like a normal beard. It's not like fully grown and stuff like that. Do you get it? People checking me out.
Your mic's hiding.
Yeah,
No, but
it's not
on
like
the tube though. Why would you get that? Because
the way, like,
when you're in the thobe, you mean, or just generally?
No, just generally, because
Okay.
like my beard, like, Allahumma barik, like, there's a lot of reverts out there that have got nice beards. I'm not saying mine's not a nice beard. I'm not doubting any beards. I'm not putting any beards down or anything.
Yours
like
is
that.
nice, but
But
don't worry.
it's not a full beard, and it looks
Yeah,
like
it is.
it's like it's a beard that's not being cut. Do you get it? Now you're analysing me. But my point is that people can tell that I'm Muslim, like, and they see that I'm white, and they sometimes I've been on the tube once or twice, like in my early marriage days with my wife, and I actually got approached by Christians and stuff like that, and why are you Muslim? Can you believe in this? And they used to give me pieces of paper and stuff like this.
Really?
And it got to me a little bit, but I kind of put it to the side, and I said to myself, if I show them any form of weakness, any way of showing them that I have a doubt about my religion, it will make them want to do even more.
Yeah.
Because then they'll feel, oh yeah, there is people like that, and we need to make sure that we... Do you get my point?
So how did you react?
So I learned from my mistakes, put it that way. And that when I was approached by them in the future, I was respectful in that I don't believe what you believe in. I believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. I believe in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I don't believe that Jesus alayhi salam was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't believe that. And I say that to them, and I explain what Islam believes, and I say to them, that is what I believe in. If you don't want to accept that, that is your problem. I am a Muslim, and I will never ever deteriorate from that. And that's one thing, like, is to not say that everyone's wrong in the way they approach it, but always be conscious in how we word ourselves in front of people who are trying to attack our religion in a way that maybe they say things about the Prophet ﷺ that you don't like, or they say things about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or etc., things in the religion that they don't like, that they can't understand. Yeah, you have to approach it in a way that they won't see you as a weak person and a person that doubts their religion, so that when they go away, they don't see themselves as they've won, or they've beat you, or they've made you feel like you doubt your religion, or these things. So it's really important that the way we word ourselves, show them that this is what we believe in, and that's it. If you want to give them da'wah, obviously you can move forward in that's different. But when they're trying to attack your religion or whatever, just be patient and make sure you understand your religion to the basic fundamentals, so that you can tell them why it is. That's one thing I learned. Like, when I first became Muslim, that was one of my problems. I was so zealous, yeah, Islam, da, 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 da. But then I learned that people were actually coming away from me, and they didn't really want to be my friend anymore.
That's common.
Because, like, do you get my point?
Yeah.
So I was very, not saying that it was a bad thing, because, we love our religion. It's something that's changed me completely, and many other millions of people, yeah. And, like, when I started learning about Islam, and I started being around brothers and stuff like that, I started getting tips and advice, and it changed. Like, like the way I was giving da'wah or portraying Islam at the beginning was more to do with me telling people, but later on, now I'm working in a non-Muslim environment, and I've experienced people and how they react to Muslims. I've seen that, if you show them a few actions, maybe give them if you're going to buy a drink, get them a drink, or you're going to the shop, get them whatever they want, or even asking them, do you want a glass of water? These little things that maybe they've not experienced it before, and it might be that one life-changing moment that they may start to be intrigued about Islam.
How does your wife feel when you're out and about and you get looks?
The same way I think every other Muslim would feel, is that because I'm a revert, because we're in like in a situation where Islam is growing so much, people don't see it from a perspective of like, okay, you know, this person really did it for themselves. They may see it as they were forced into it. When they see me with my wife or with my family-in-law or whatever, they may feel like I was peer pressured into it, even though they have no evidence or any way to show that has happened. And that's the same in the way that maybe the niqab has been banned in certain countries. They feel that they know what this person's going through and what they've been through and how they've got to that stage. And I think that's the problem, is that they're trying to assess others in that they think maybe they know how I came to Islam, or they feel that, you know, maybe I was pressured into it. So it kind of hurts you in that you want Muslims to go outside and you want our sisters and brothers to go outside knowing that they are following the truth and they can be firm, and when people approach them, they don't feel sad and in doubt that when they're approached about their niqab, or they're approached about their beard, or they're approached about their trousers being above their ankles, or they're approached about why you're praying a salah, or you're approached about fasting, all of these things can add up. So it's really, really good to be positive in these situations, to really help your iman as well. And that's why it's really important if it's just the fundamentals, because that's what I'm saying. People try to read others. Like maybe non-Muslims, they will try to read me in why I became Muslim. Why are you Muslim? I don't understand it. Were you peer pressured, or whatever? How was it? Because Islam is the fastest growing religion. Look how fast it's growing. People are becoming Muslim daily. Yeah. So like that's one thing that I really found amazing with Islam, is that if we use our character to benefit other people, we can truly interest people and truly show them that, you know, we as Muslims, we're firm in our religion, and we truly believe in it. We have no doubts.
Powerful stuff, man.
So,
How's it? No, it is powerful.
I'm passionate about it because, you know.
No, you're right, because you built up your character, which maybe over time, where you have that confidence and you have that you have the right amount of zeal. Like you're saying, like at first you become very zealous, and now it's like you're very passionate, you're very confident, and you're very positive, and that's how a person should be, right? How's your Arabic going? Because I remember the last time we spoke.
Let me just make the last point.
Fine.
Because I know there will be a lot of sisters out there that maybe, I'm not speaking for sisters because obviously I'm not a sister, but I know like there's these struggles, and the same with the Revert brothers and even Muslims in non-Muslim organizations, etc., etc. Yeah, always be positive. Keep your akhlaq there and your characters, but never show them that you're weak and that you're sad or you're in doubt of your belief. Yeah, because this, like I said earlier, like if you get yourself into that situation where you thought that if you go in this situation you will keep yourself clear of any sin or etc. If you stayed in that maybe that state where, you know, you'll not compromise your religion, but you'll also show them what the religion believes in, rather than maybe compromising and going into that part where you cannot get back out of it. Just show, you know, be strong and be strong as a Muslim and be proud of what you are. Alhamdulillah. He was asking me about, what was it?
Oh,
Arabic,
yeah.
It's going okay. I think with my schedule, my new schedule is like, it's a bit hard at the minute.
Okay.
But I've decided to move on to going on private classes with someone.
Okay. You started that, or you're planning?
I'm in the like talks with my old Quran teacher.
Okay.
He's going to teach me my Arabic, inshallah. Yeah.
Not an easy language, innit?
Hey?
It's not an easy language.
It's not. But it's amazing.
Oh,
and how you can describe things, like for instance, if I was to say to you, yeah, there's a bee. You'd be like, okay, it's a bee. But in Arabic, you can say there's a bee in a female form or a male form, and you'll understand it even more in depth about what that bee is.
Yeah.
Because
and where
there's a story in the Quran about the bees, and how the bees are actually mentioned as female bees, and how they are the ones that reproduce the honey, right? SubhanAllah, it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used this in the Quran, and I actually got that from my Arabic classes when I was, but it's amazing, like you can define something so much, because everything in Arabic has a male or feminine form, right? Whereas in English you say, oh, okay, he's going to pick up his cup, yeah, and drink it. Whereas in Arabic it'd be so more like in depth, but you'd still understand it.
Yeah.
So, like that in itself, it shows why the Quran was revealed in this language, because it's so amazing and it's so beautiful,
bruv.
and how you can use it in a harmonic way.
It's such a beautiful language.
It's unbelievable. SubhanAllah.
And translations don't do it justice.
No way. Yeah.
And even if you see one of the things that I love is when you see how
Like, this is one of, like, I'm just a beginner. Imagine if you're someone who's
Likewise.
delved into it and you know it. Imagine how it feels when you're reading the Quran, especially for those like who've memorized the Quran as well. You've learned the language. It's a different level. SubhanAllah. Sorry, bro. Sorry. I've interrupted you a few times. I've got a bit more energy than last time.
No. You had 2 coffees. This is your show, bro. You're a guest. I'm just here to waver the conversation. The more you talk, the better it is for me.
Yeah, bless you.
Bro, you know when you see how things are described in the Arabic language, as you're saying, it's so beautiful, and the translation just doesn't do justice. Like an example is like when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would describe things. And the beauty of the language was like, I think I mentioned this before in the podcast, but you know, I remember someone asking a sheikh like, okay, I'm back to doing I did the manual edit again, so I don't know at what point we cut off.
Hit my bottom.
Yeah. What we were saying is, okay, so basically, the thing I was gonna say is, let me just do this, please.
Yeah, no worries.
I think I mentioned it before, but someone basically asked the sheikh like, there's a hadith or something. There's a hadith where the narration where someone said to the, you know what, I don't like speaking in Islamic matters. I don't know it script, but I want to give the context. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The essence of it, and we'll try find the narration.
Yeah.
But is that when someone asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who is the best? No. The Prophet ﷺ said that if there was a prophet after me, it would be Umar. Yeah. And then someone said to the Sheikh, but we know that the next best man after the Prophet ﷺ was Abu Bakr. Like he was but do they contradict each other? And the Sheikh said, no, the beauty of the Arabic language, which you can't even translate, is that the Prophet ﷺ was, the way he was like poetically speaking about Umar was to like raise his ranks. But it was known that he wasn't directly saying that he's the next.
Yeah.
But it was the beauty of the language in how he like, but like imagine if you and I just always spoke like that. Like if you were to say to me, oh, what's Tim like as a person? And I went, if I had all of the belongings in the world, I would give them to Tim just because of the smile he puts on my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of but you can't do it in English.
He's all right, and he helps me out and I know.
But it's just like the language is so jameel, bro.
Yeah,
like,
amazing. Yeah.
So above it, I'd love to be able to speak Arabic fluently, but it's very difficult.
I remember I was in Saudi on my Hajj, and I had like the basics.
Yeah.
And you were trying to fling it out when you try to speak to the security guards, and they're like, "You all right, bro?" They're looking at me. I was like, "Oh man."
Let me try and find that. See if I can find it.
So I was like, when I was on Hajj, like, we found ourselves like when you're in between Mina and going back from Jamarat and coming back, because we was in the European area. It was so far from the Jamarat, like you have to walk like 45 minutes to an hour to get there, and to come back is like a different route because you can't come through the simple way, right? So you have to go through and ask the security guards, "Oh, we're this way." And it was just mad, man. Like, crazy. You're gonna cut it there, innit? So there's no like awkward silence.
No, it's fine. Awkward silence is fine. Basically, that hadith, there's some scholars say that it's sahih and other scholars say that it's daif, basically.
Okay.
But it was reported.
It's essence, innit? Like you're talking about the language. It's like.
Yeah, my point remains about language, but it says basically the hadith is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reported to say by it's narrated in Imam Ahmad and Tirmidhi and Al-Hakim or Hakim. If there was a prophet after me, it will be Umar ibn Khattab. So anyway, there's a difference. But the point is I'm talking about the language. And there's so many different examples in ahadith where the language being used is so beautiful, bro. And even in the Quran, as you mentioned, the language being used. And if you just speak to your teachers and stuff, and you hear them speaking, you just think, wow, bro, like you understand why they only want to speak in Arabic. Like they have so many different languages under their belt, but they just enjoy speaking in Arabic because of the beauty of the language.
remember I was in York, and I went to York recently. May Allah bless the brothers from York, yeah.
I mean,
And I went to Jummah, and there was this brother who gave a khutbah. It was amazing. Like I love it. I'm used to the northern accent, and he's got the northern accent when he's talking, and he actually started speaking about something amazing. Yeah, and he spoke about understanding just the simple parts of your salah, like Sami Allahu liman hamida, and Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, all these things. If you understand them, even the simplest form, and you truly understand that, this is a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you use it and you benefit from that perspective, it can change your salah massively. Like we find ourselves like when we're in our tight work schedule or doing stuff and we pray our salah, we find ourselves wandering off, and we're not truly understanding what those words are saying. But if you truly understand it and you appreciate it and you learn it from a non-Arabic speaking person to an Arabic speaking person, you're going to cherish it from a point of view of, I've just learnt this language for your sake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I want to do it so I can conversate with you in my salah. And if you do it from that perspective, it will change your salah.
Yeah, so
even the simplest, like even Allah Akbar,
yeah,
Allah is the greatest, oh Allah, you are the greatest, and you say it with conviction, it will instantly change the way you say it. Instantly. SubhanAllah.
We need to make more of an effort to
100%,
be able to understand.
100%.
Are there any other languages that you're learning?
Gujarati, bruv.
I know you are, I know you are.
Yeah, so I've got the basics, but I'm not going to make myself look silly on TV.
I don't know Gujarati, so if you spoke,
I'm
even
not
if you
gonna
make yourself look silly.
Big up all Gujaratis and all that stuff, yeah, but I'm not going to say it on this podcast because I don't want to seem silly.
Nah, just say something to your Gujarati listeners right now.
I can't, my whole
just say something small.
I can't.
Something small, bro, for the Gujarati listeners.
I'm sorry.
Tim, I'm trying to peepish you into this, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to do it now. We're even more silly.
Just say something small. You could.
Kemcho.
There you go.
There you go. Kemcho.
Even I know what that is. What? Does that mean how are you?
Yeah. But when you're saying it to a more respected person, you say demoraicho.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Is that like?
That's like more of a respective.
Okay,
like, are you okay?
Demoraicho.
Yeah. I think if I don't. People are going to beat me out in comments now.
Nah.
My family's probably laughing at me as well.
Is your accent good? Because I don't know.
I don't know, bruv.
Oh.
I don't know.
We should ask.
I think I've got my northern accent.
If there's any Gujarati people speaking now and listening to this now, how was his accent?
Remember the first time I came on and I told you that, like my accent is like all over the place. 1 minute is northern, 1 minute is London, 1 minute is like, it's so confused. So even if I speak a different language, it will seep in somehow.
Do you know how to say like what's for dinner or something?
No.
You can only say specific sentences.
Like goodbye.
Oh,
these things.
But goodbye, isn't that like Assalamu alaikum?
Nah.
Really?
I'm not going to say, please.
No.
You're killing me.
I would. But I would have thought, because even in us, like,
yeah.
Like my mother tongue is Punjabi.
Like, even like if it's similar to like, how can I say it? Go on, how do you say something's very big?
Oh, big would be like Vada in Punjabi. And in Urdu it would be Bara.
See, in Gujarati it's Bo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say it's hot, you say Bo, garam, and then you say chat at the end, innit?
Oh, Bo. Oh, yeah. Like Bohot in
Yeah.
Both garam. Yeah. Alright, so bro, listen here.
It's mad at people are like, what
about you? What food-wise, what food have you been open up to that you enjoy from the South Asian culture?
Not disrespecting anyone, I love all food. I can eat any type of food. I'm there, man. I'm there.
But talk to me about your favorite foods in South.
I'm there.
Really, spice?
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm not good with spice, bro.
I'm there with spice.
Okay, talk to me about the South Asian food though. What food do you like?
I don't know the names, man.
Oh, you don't?
No.
But everyone knows what butter chicken is.
Yeah, that's English, mate. Butter chicken.
Yeah, but it's
tandoori chicken.
Asian.
That's English as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's Asian food.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to say in the language. I'm saying what food do you like.
I think there's one I know.
Okay.
Is it cry? Gosh.
Cry.
Yeah, that's it.
But I'm not saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying. Can you translate the things? I'm saying what food do you like. Like you can say it in English.
I like any curries. But I'm an Englishman. No, I'm half English, half South African. But because my dad's English, take it from my father's, so I'm English.
So what's your favorite food generally though?
My mum's food.
Nice, that's clever.
Yeah.
But I'm saying dish.
And my wife's food and everyone else's food. Nice. I like everyone's food.
Great.
I'll dig the hole there.
But what dish though? Like for example,
Okay.
remember when we was daily man
I'll
chat,
tell you-
Farouk was like, lads, first.
Bruv,
He's like first
No,
fast opening fish and chips. Come on, what's your
think
favorite
my
food dish?
Okay, so when I went to South Africa, if you're South African, you know a thing called a potjie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Dutch. Afrikaans. I don't know the full meaning, but it's called a potjie.
And what is it?
It's a bowl, right? It's like a bowl that you cook on a stove outside or wherever, inside, wherever, and you cook this food throughout the whole day, and you let it sit like a stew. You just let it sit in this bowl.
Nice.
And when I last went to South Africa to see my uncle, he made one and had like dumplings, had all these things, and the lamb was sitting there all day cooking with dumplings inside it, and you eat it with like rice or whatever, etc. And it was unbelievable. That food is like the most tasty food that I've tasted to this day.
I wouldn't know what my favorite dish is.
Like, to be honest, I love English food. I love getting a Sunday, waking up on a Sunday, having a Yorkshire pudding with gravy.
I
all these
love
things.
a Yorkshire
Do you get what I'm
pudding.
saying? But it's like, it's one of them things. It's who you are, innit? It's who you are.
I wouldn't know what my favorite food is. You know.
I can't really say I have a favourite food. I appreciate everything I eat. But there is, like, obviously tastier food than others. Alhamdulillah. It's been fun, man. Very different one to the first one.
Yeah, man. It's a shame we had to cut it so short, but we ended up filming it a bit late, didn't we?
Yeah. I've got to drive all the way home now.
You got to drive an hour 20 minutes.
Yeah. In the dark.
You'll be alright,
I'm
inshallah.
scared.
Make dua. Leave.
Inshallah,
Make the dua
inshallah.
before you leave.
Yeah.
Before you as you get in the
Yeah.
car. You'll be alright, inshallah.
Yeah.
Tim, thank you so much
Jazakallah khair, bro.
for joining me again for an
No
episode, for an impromptu episode of Freshly Grounded.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
actually enjoyed
planned.
this one. Like the first one was a bit more because no one knows me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, everyone knows you
I'm
now.
not a social media guy. I'm not like, but
You're
I
on socials
like-
now.
I am.
You
yeah.
told me
But
you
it's
wouldn't be
more-
on socials.
No, but this is what I'm going to tell you now. Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why I'm on social is to help promote my work.
Okay, nice.
I
I respect that.
Like I'm not like Facebook. I use it to contact my parents, see what my parents are doing. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have these things, but I have Instagram to help with my work and stuff like that.
You should get the
Because
Facebook
I love just looking at camera stuff and video stuff and desk setups and work setups and camera setups on Instagram. That's like my favorite thing. I like just looking at them. Sounds strange, but
No, I like that as well.
yeah, I like doing that. And I like showing my setup and talking to other people about their setup and their cameras they use and that stuff. It's good, like being in contact with the things you love, being in contact with it and using it to your best ability. Like when I talk to people that know about cameras as well, you feel that connection straight away.
Yeah,
You're like,
I hear that.
da, da, da. Do you know about this new thing that's coming out? Da, 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 da. And you're just like, instantly there's a bond. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm on Instagram, I look at some things and like there was one guy from I think from Saudi. He does like he specifically he's at this one mosque. He does all the pictures, all the videos, and he's constantly uploading these pictures and videos of it. Looks amazing. The work he does is so good. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't have Instagram. I've just been in my own world, doing my own work, etc. But you got to kind of, there was one amazing thing is that you as someone who's responsible for your work, you also have to give it a good image. And what I mean by that is that, for instance, if I'm a content creator, I want to try my best, make a sacrifice, do my best to make sure that what I'm putting out there is of the best of quality. Why? Because it represents you, your work ethic, your habits, who you are as a person. Your work represents that. So when you use this mentality in your work, it will change you on one immediately. Because if we just have that mentality, okay, I'm going to go into my work, I'm going to get it done and make sure it's done, etc., etc. But if you're looking at a perspective, not that you care about what people think about you, but you care about what image you have for your work, so that not only can you get more work, but so you can show to the people that this is what it takes. If you show dedication, you show that you love your work, you'll get this outcome. And that's what I'm trying, not saying that I'm amazing and I know how to portray my work.
Stop putting yourself down. You are amazing, Tim. Allahumma barik.
I'm looking at the camera just like...
I think that would probably die.
probably
That
off,
battery, yeah. Tim, thank you so much, bro, for joining us on Freshly Grounded. Episode 138 or something.
Yeah.
Coming up to 140. Coming up to 150 soon.
I was there before the hundreds, I think.
Really?
Was I?
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, 80 something.
Look at you now. Look at you now, Tim.
Look at me now.
Flying high, bro.
Flying high.
Alhamdulillah. Bro, I'll see you soon, inshallah. Barakallahu
Allah
feek.
bless you, bro.
Jazakallahu khair.
Wa
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah.